I don't know what's happening in the USA right now besides the elections, let alone New York State. But how is this possible? This here is Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. They were unfortunately both euthanized. So the caretaker here, Mark Longo, he owns his own animal sanctuary where he saves and rescues animals, right? And both Peanut and Fred were rescued animals. And unfortunately, some XD gamer, anonymous freaking Xbox gamer decided to report these animals due to rabies concerns to the DEC.
It not only tears my family apart, but Peanut was the cornerstone of our nonprofit animal rescue. And 10 to 12 DEC officers raided my house as if I was a drug dealer. I was sat outside my house for 5 hours. I had to get a police escort to my bathroom. I wasn't even allowed to feed my rescue horses breakfast or lunch. I was sat there like a criminal after they interrogated my wife to check out her immigration status, then proceeded to ask me if I had cameras in my house, then proceeded to go through every cabinet, nook, and cranny of my house for a squirrel and a raccoon.
So as Mark explains here, the DEC freaking basically FBI raided him like a SWAT raid. He wasn't allowed to leave, he wasn't allowed to go inside his house, he was just sat out there for hours. I don't know in what universe this is allowed. How is this allowed? So they tore down his house, he wasn't allowed to go feed his horses, which were rescued animals. That just sounds evil. You can't go feed your rescued animals. And ultimately, it ended up with them taking away Peanut and Fred and euthanizing them to test for rabies. I don't know why they took this so extreme, because apparently this went out of taxpayers' money, and they used it on killing these two animals.
How did you find out that they euthanized Peanut?
They haven't messaged me. They haven't called me. They haven't given me a formal statement whatsoever. The last time I heard from the DEC was when they left my house. Another news station called me with their statement, and that's how I found out Peanut is gone. They didn't even have the heart to call me themselves to tell me what was going on. This state has more problems than a squirrel and a raccoon, and we're using our taxpayers' dollars to help take these animals out of a comfortable place, all because of some paperwork?
I find it really disturbing how scarce they were with this, and how they didn't actually contact Mark about what happened. They didn't like directly say anything to him. He just found it out online. I find that so disturbing. How they didn't even let him know what was going on.
The statement released that Peanut bit one of the people. Peanut's bitten me 5 times in 7 years. Peanut also is an animal that only knows me. So why wouldn't you have protective gloves on and protective equipment to allow an animal like him that to bite you? Also, to be honest with you, I don't buy it whatsoever.
Mark even states that for the 7 years of having Peanut, Peanut only bit him 5 times. Only 5. Out of 7 years, Peanut only bit him 5 times. Let that sink in. Did we also forget that rabies is passed on? So it's not something that just happens. So over 7 years of having Peanut, right? It's not like he's just gonna have rabies out of nowhere. I also have to mention that this became such a big thing that even Donald Trump and Elon Musk came out to talk about it. But yeah, it's insanity what happened to Mark and his animals. It's a disgrace. So yeah, rest in peace, Peanut and Fred. I hope the best for Mark and his family and his, foundation. And yeah, peace out.